That almost crashed my game. Oh my god.
Okay, since we're all here now, this is intermediate class. So do you have any like preliminary questions before we like start?
How long does these usually take?
It depends, but um usually like an hour, 2 hours, hour and a half, like that. That's how
Alright.
long I would try to keep it.
I guess like my main question is just how do you know, like, when you're acting on a personality, how far can you go until it's like out of profile and a rule break?
Uh, that's a wide question. Like,
That
can you
is
give
my
me an
bad.
ex No, it's fine. Can you give me an example of something?
So like my bull spleen is like a lot more submissive, or like his personality is a lot more submissive, but bulls are supposed to be super dom
Oh,
heavy.
there's a thing in profile for that. Hold on, let me grab that. So you're allowed to be like more submissive than a like profile may dictate, right? But you just may get less like as for courting you may get less females or you may lose more females. And but a marker profile specifically has something for that. Um Here, let me copy and paste it. Other males are more subdued in their singing and use submissive body language to court. They they wouldn't go into conflict, like they wouldn't like do the bullfights, but they will defend their harems. But if your bull doesn't defend their harem, like if he's like that submissive, then you would just lose more females than
Alright.
males that would defend their females or males that would uh, fight in courting, maybe.
Yeah, there was the incident. Well, I guess this is more being like way too aggressive, but one of my females was like on the brink of starving, and
Yeah.
so I was trying to like savor the bush, but these two uncourted females were trying to eat it all, and I kept like three calling them and body gesturing like for them to get away, and they weren't listening, so I like smacked them, and then they got mad saying I was uh way out of profile because a male would never aggress females.
Um, he would he would not if he's starving, I would say like that's a survival thing. Like you can always like court other females or um you can always find a different herd, but if he is starving, I feel like he would try to defend that bush. I don't feel like that's too out of profile because in animals, like first thing is always to I have to live, right?
Hmm.
It's not like oh I can't court these females later, right? It'll be like oh I can't court them if I don't survive or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't feel that's out of profile.
So do Amargs like do they hold their bonds like super seriously? I don't know how to word it. Like, are they super monogamous towards their females that they bonded to?
Not really. They are protective over the females, but the females want the strongest male. So, for a harem leader, like this is only applying to harem leaders right now, not sneaky males. Sneaky males they might form bonds with, but if the sneaky male isn't attentive, or they wouldn't like protect him from being discovered if he is, they wouldn't protect him if he is discovered. Um, so they do form bonds, like all Amargas form bonds. Females form bonds with males, males form bonds with other males. Females form bonds with other females. It's not like gender specific for bonds, but for mate bonds, the they're polygamous, and the females want the strongest male.
Alright. The last like specific question is so for like my harem,
Yeah.
I always like to let the babies eat first, and then if
Okay.
anyone's starving, they can eat first. Is that like considered pecking order? Like, would that be out of profile?
Uh, well, females would usually let their offspring eat first, anyways.
Would I ever like not like I don't know how to word it. Like, not let someone eat a bush if a baby hasn't eaten yet.
No, you would not. That's more up to females. And
All right.
females, if their child isn't like, they raise them communally, so they wouldn't like, how do I word this? Sorry.
No, you're good.
So females raise their babies communally. They should let babies eat first. If they're starving, then they would eat first. But if a female eats before a baby, the other females wouldn't get aggressive towards that female. Unless it happens like often, or I believe. It really depends on the situation, but they wouldn't aggress a female for eating ahead of a baby or things like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Is that all your like general questions?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mainly.
you can always ask more as the class goes on, by the way.
All right.
Murrocity, do you have any questions? What do you mean by like too far? You're supposed to act like nearly exactly as a female. So what do you mean by too far? Oh, lag. Um, so yeah, you can't defend adoptees out of body length. You can't run to them. Only a child's biological mother can run to them out of body length. And the maximum is 3 viz, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay. You wouldn't go out of your way to protect your own child, like as a male. You don't care as much for children as females do, but you would act like it around females, and you would act like you do care, but you don't care as much as females. The caring part is mostly to like blend in, so you don't just get discovered by the lead, by the harem leader. Does that answer the question, or did I misunderstand? Well, by rules, you're not allowed to defend your... Well, like, by rules, you're not allowed to run out of body length to defend a child as a male. like only females are allowed to like run to their children to defend them at a body length. For anything really, but especially as a defensive herbivores. They can defend. Can a female even defend and adopt? They can defend and adopt if it's within if it's within body length from them. They can't run out of a body length to defend it. Yeah, no problem.
How close can a bull get to like a good father without it being like they're being too attentive?
I don't think there is a line. You have to follow by rules. As what I just explained, you can't run out of body length to protect it and stuff like that.
So I can still like do like the shaky cuddle thing and like be close to my kids and stuff, and it'll be fine.
You have to act, yeah.
Oh, also, when a bull is like leading a harem and they notice some like Amargs are falling behind, especially if it's like their bonded ones, would they ever stop the whole herd for them to catch up, or would they just keep going?
Uh, sorry. A harem leader's first priority is their own harem. So they would protect their harem above all else. So if that means stopping the herd to let their females catch up, then they would. Yeah, it's a weird like balance, Murrocity. Yeah, no problem. Willow, since you're here, do you have any questions? Alright, we'll just keep playing and make sure to ask any questions you have. The lead bull doesn't necessarily start the circles. All Amargas would try to start a circle, but Amargas that have a harem leader would gravitate towards their harem leader to start a circle.
What do we do if there's another bull in your circle? Like, would we push them out like actively?
I don't think you would. Actually, Viz, I'm not sure. Can you answer that?
It depends. Really, honestly, depends. If we're in a herd like this where no harem is kind of established, you wouldn't necessarily push out the bull because again, we're all kind of bachelors right now and we all need to defend each other. But if we're in like a really big herd and we're all separated into harems and you notice a bachelor in your defense circle. It depends again, on your male if they're a bit more possessive, and if that bachelor is being hunted and being like ousted, then you would be like, okay, no, I'm not bringing you near my females. You are getting hunted, and you might bring that danger to my females. I don't want to hear it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So like, if an outside female that's like not in your harem is bringing like a tyrannosaur to your circle, would you butt them out as well, or would you let them in?
Depends, honestly. If it's a female's a female, honestly. But if it's like albino or sick or something like that, you'd be like, okay, no.
All right.
Could a sneaky become a bull if ousted? They could try. I don't think the females would really like them that much since they don't have a crest. But they could definitely try.
They could also just sneak into another harem.
And that, yeah. Could the crest become bright? Well,
Yeah, I read like there was like one species, I think it was a lizard or something, that did sneaky male things, and instead of like it for life, it's kind of just stunted growth, and then they develop their crest later on. I was also wondering about that.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue about any of that. You could act it out, but
We're gonna court here, by the way. If that's okay.
Yeah.
I would say no. Per profile, the older the bull, the duller the colors.
Okay.
What's a
So I-
typical like Amarga lifespan, by the way?
Whenever you die. Honestly.
Fair.
Especially dinosaurs. The bigger the animal is, the more lifespan it has. Like, the bigger the lifespan. So, like, whales and elephants are gonna live longer, while ants are, like, a few days or a few weeks.
It's also up to you how fast you want your dinosaur to age or how slow it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's no set, like, time. That's fine. But I'm waiting to see who Kyo goes with.
So like here, when I'm not wanting to fight, and you're obviously the more dominant bull, would I just like give up on courting and go sit somewhere else?
No, you can keep courting, you just wouldn't fight. Viz is gonna come over and 3-call you. Which you do not have to fight. You're allowed to back off. You can keep courting, and it's up to the females whether they choose you or whether they choose Viz.
So what I just did was I see that Mal has an established harem. Well, not really established, but he does have a harem. And I tried to steal it from him because my boy is greedy.
Yep. So Mal, if your bull is submissive in courting, he in profile it says he will try to defend his harem, though.
All right. So like, would I just like trade one blow and then go off, or?
It depends on your male. If that's what he wants to do, then yes, he can.
Would a bull ever like take out his anger if the females don't go with him, even though he's the more dominant one by obvious?
Mm. Repeat that question?
Like if one male is obviously more dominant than the other, but the females just like don't want to go with him, would the dominant male like take out his anger on the bull that's winning over the females?
No.
Like, all right. So what happens? So like if one does get like too aggressive and too upset, they would just get shunned.
Yep.
All right.
Polly, are we nesting for this one-on-one or no?
Do you guys
I'm
want
fine
to
with
nest?
it.
I have time. So it's up to you guys.
Holly, if you want, I can give you children and then dip, because I did promise a friend that I'd be with them.
Oh, no problem.
Mm.
Do you have to shadow the entire thing, or?
Ooh, I think I do, actually. All right, I'll stay.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
This can only go on for an hour if we want.
It's
Alright.
been
Like
an hour.
30 more minutes. We started at 3:30 though. Or
Oh, we
30
did, didn't we?
yeah, 30 minutes ago. So we go for another 30 minutes and then we could end?
Sure.
Okay. So sorry to keep you from your friend.
It's okay. No worries, no worries.
Another thing I have trouble with is like knowing when to stop circling and start like running away instead. Like if a Rex isn't actively like attacking us, when do we start sprinting away?
As soon as you see it.
If the defense circle isn't working, you don't have to use the defense circle.
Okay.
But like a Rex, for example, I would just sprint away. I wouldn't even try making a defense circle. If you can't get away and everyone's out of stam or things like that, I would form a defense circle. But if it's 2 aloes, I would form one if they start coming near.
Panic is a very strong emotion. If the herd feels nothing but panic, it might run away instead of doing this defense circle.
Yeah.
Especially against the Rex.
And if you get ambushed, I think the initial panic you would just run before forming a defense circle. If the thing is near you, you can defend yourself, but your first instinct would probably be to run.
So would a male and his harem run away if like an unbounded female is getting attacked?
Sorry, what?
If like a unrelated unbounded female is getting attacked, would a male and his harem run away instead of want to like defend her?
It depends. So the harem the harem leader is his first priority is his harem. That female is not in his harem. If he has multiple females in his harem, he would protect the many over the one. If it's a single Denon that's attacking it can't be a single Denon, but if it's like a Denon pack, maybe that's attacking the female, he might want to go over there. But if it's like 2 aloes or Rex, he would prioritize his own harem.
Okay.
Like, he would prioritize the many over the one. In most situations.
When we have babies, is it like, because I never like running because I don't want to trample them, but like would the panic thing kind of disregard that?
Sorry, what I was talking to someone.
If we have like babies in the herd, would we
Yeah.
still panic and like full sprint even with them like under us and stuff?
If you're panicked enough, yeah. You would not do it on purpose, trying to loophole the rules and get a body so they can attack you. But if you are panicked enough and there's a baby in front of you and there's like a Rex on your tail, then yeah.
Would a mother ever like stop following a bull because he accidentally killed one of her calves?
I wouldn't think so. I don't think they have the brain capacity to be like, oh, he killed one of my children. Like she might stop being like affectionate or like towards him for that season, but next season for fair game, she probably won't even remember that it happened.
Oh, when we have babies, how often should we be resting? Or in like just in general, like Amargas are crepuscular, so like do we just sleep all during the day or do we sleep during the night too sometimes?
We can sleep during the night too sometimes. You would likely be more active at night. But if you're tired, you're tired. You can sleep. And during the day, if you're hungry or if the herd needs to move, there's danger, you would move. You don't have to sleep all day.
Kind of unrelated from Amarg, but Sukos, they like sleep for like really deep, right? But if they're taking like a nap during the day, would it still be that like same level of sleep, or would they still like be a little bit
I
more
do
alert?
not play Suko. I have no idea.
All right,
Sorry.
no, you're fine.
Ooh, I almost put the wrong server.
Probably my last question, but nomadic species, if there's like an abundance of food or resources in a spot, would they stay in that spot longer? Or would they
Yeah.
just eat their fill and keep leaving?
Yeah, they could stay in that spot longer. They would probably move around the area a little bit, but they can stay in that like spot longer than they might have if there was less food.
How long would like be max, I guess? Like I usually stay like tops 2 days in a spot and then leave.
I would say maybe over an hour, maybe
Okay.
even 45 minutes for max.
Someone asked a question.
Sorry, I was in can sneaky males infiltrate? Viz, I just asked you that in chat. I don't know, but according to profile, I would say no, they cannot. Because it says, taking advantage of a male's divided attention and lust while courting, these sneaky males can trick bulls into believing they are females, allowing them premier access to the harem's core. Like only a single harem. They can't like go between harems, right?
It also says that after mating, they could leave the harem so they don't get discovered. So depends.
Oh, that's true.
Is mating successfully courting someone or successfully nesting with someone?
The definition of a mate is having a nesting post with them.
Alright.
No, they can't.
When it says that a female can nest with the bull twice, or once with the bull and once with a sneaky male, does that mean they could have like a 4 clutch when it's dry season and an 8 clutch when it's wet season?
Sorry, huh?
Like in the profile, it says that female Amargs can mate twice. Would that double the nest count or the egg count, or would it just be like,
No, okay, so dry season max for Amarga is 2 eggs, right? Yeah. Okay, it's 2 eggs. And so that means they could nest once with the harem leader and once with the sneaky male. They can't, like, it doesn't double the amount of eggs.
alright. Oh, what's the like line and where a bull wouldn't court its own bloodline? Like, would it court its grandchildren?
Uh, Technically, grandchildren aren't related by walking with dinosaur rules, so they could. Whether they would is a different question. Do they know it's their grandchild? Or like did they watch the grandchild like being born? Did they like grow up alongside it? Things like that. If they have no idea, then yeah. But if they grew up alongside the grandchild, like they knew their own child had that child, then probably not. They'd probably try to avoid it. Yeah, you're able to do that. Yep, you can do that.
Oh, for albinos, are they allowed to join like the group, or do they just kind of have to trail along way back?
Do you mean like the same in-game group? Or
Yeah.
like, they're allowed to, yeah. You have to not court, you have to shun them. So you wouldn't let them near you, you probably wouldn't court them if you wouldn't, okay, you would not court them if you had other options. If the albino is the bull, and there were no other bulls in the herd, you might mate with them. If there is another bull in the herd, you wouldn't even consider the albino. You would just go straight to the other bull. If the albino is a female, and there was only one female and you're a bull, you would not let the female near or into your harem. If it's the only female, you might let it into. You might mate with it. If there are other females, you would not let that female into your harem or near it.
Would a bull care if a sneaky male courted an albino at all?
He would not care because the female wouldn't even be in your harem anyways.
Alright.
I'm gonna close my post viz. Since it's been 10 minutes. Alright.
Thank you for the session.
Yeah. Sabretooth, are you joining the class? Saber is in VC at the moment. I don't know when they joined, but that makes 4, and 4 is the max. Oh, okay, they're in. Wait, what's happening? Hello?
They hear me? Okay, it's push to talk. I'm not that right. I can leave if you need me to.
No, do you want to join the class?
I'm still learning the mark.
Okay, just so you can join, but we're at the max now, so no one else can join. So just let me know any questions you have about the profile, and I'll answer them.
Okay. Right now I'm hearing footsteps, so I'm kind of panicky right now. Keeping my panicking to myself.
Okay, if someone else wanted to join, they could. Keo, right?
Yeah.
Alright, they can join.
Would a bull ever have like a favorite female that he spends most of his time with?
Yeah, you can.
Would other females get like aggravated at that?
What do you mean?
Like, would they go to a different male if they weren't getting enough attention?
It depends on the female. So generally, females just prefer the strongest male. But if the male isn't protecting that female or isn't acting strong, isn't like attentive to his entire harem, she might leave, or she might want to prefer to choose another male over the next season.
Would a female ever be protective over her babies, like not let any other females around? If she had like bad experience from before?
No. Females raise calves communally.
Alright.
Yeah.
What about adoptees? They're like really weird and I don't really understand them that much on Marks.
So adoptees are generally treated like your own kids until protection comes into play. I'll ignore that. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. You can, I don't know who that's inviting.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're fine. Sorry, what was the question? I got distracted.
So, like,
adoptees, right?
yeah.
So you would generally treat them the same as your own offspring, but until protection rules come into play. Say the offspring is getting attacked by a Denon, like it's really young and it's getting attacked by a Denon. You will not run to that out of body length. If it runs to you and it gets within body length of you, though, then you can protect it. However, if it's your own child, which you have a nesting post for, that's getting attacked by a Denon out of body length, and you are a female, you can run and protect that offspring.
Do the adoptees get raised communally too? Like,
Yep.
do they have a
Yes,
set
they do.
mother?
Well, usually a female or a group of females will take it in, and then an offspring will be like, okay, this is my mom now, or this is my favorite, this is my favorite female. So they'll stick around that favorite female more.
Okay.
But they are raised communally, yes. And bulls will not push out adoptees, so.
Even if they're males?
Yeah, even if they're males. Because they can only push out, sorry. What's the word? They can only push out, children that are... So, their motivation is trying to mate with that female. If they push out a child, then that resets the female's nesting timer, and thus he might have a chance to mate with her. But he can't do that if the child is adopted. If he pushes out an adopted child, it does nothing. And by profile, I believe it only says he will only push out a female's like biological children, not adoptees. Yeah. Females are aggressive to males that are not their offspring's father, as unrelated males may chase their calves from their sides to lure them to his harem. So offspring, the definition of that is things that are tagged under a nesting post, as in eggs taken. Adoptees aren't gonna have that, so.
How do you, like, wouldn't the baby just kind of run back to the mother? How do you, like, completely separate them for good?
It's really hard because they can just run back to their mother, but something I like to do when I'm playing male is I will, say we're traveling and the baby's falling behind, I will run in front of that baby and I will try to body block it from getting to its mother. You don't always have to be successful. If the child is out of line of sight, but it's also kind of close to its mother, it'll just run around you and go back. But, it's fun to act out. It's only if a child is, like, really, really lost, like, way far behind, like... several tens of body links probably that you're able to do that. Otherwise, it'll just run back to its mom. Can males related to the male stay? No, the father of that male would not let him in his harem.
What if they're sneaky?
If they're sneaky, the female wouldn't stay in that harem anyways because they are related to the leader of that harem and they're not able to mate with that harem. Well, you would think it's female, right? So you would think the female wouldn't want to stay in that harem anyways, because their father is that harem's leader. They would not mate with their father. And
So if
the purpose of a harem is to like be mated with the harem leader. But would they mate with the other females? As a disguise. So they can mate with those females in that harem, but they would not be in that harem. They would probably go under a different male's harem. Does that make sense? But the male also might get suspicious because that you females generally wouldn't want to stay in a herd with their father. On a herd in a harem with their father. So it's risky, but I guess you could.
Would different bulls have different tolerances to sneaky males, or do they all just hate them?
If you catch a sneaky male, you would likely just push him out. You wouldn't let it stay. However aggressive you want to be is up to your male, but you would push them out. Or you would attempt to. And the sneaky male should just leave instead of 3-calling you.
If he doesn't, just get shunned by everyone.
Well, if he doesn't, it's a profile break. So you should shun for realistic behavior. Or you can report or ask a staff member, stuff like that. Sorry if I missed a question, just there's a lot of people in here now. How would a sneaky act after being pushed out? Let's say I start a big group and one bull noticed. Push them from the group. If they get pushed out from one harem, they can join another harem. Was that the question? Thank you, Murrocity. Alright.
If a bull is leading, like, a huge herd, would it ever go through its harem to make sure that other males aren't trying to court their females? Or, like, pull them away?
Yeah, you defend your harem. Yeah, you defend your harem. So if there are other males and they're flirting with their females, you would defend them. Aw, the babies are so cute. And females, if you are being courted by a sneaky male, make sure they're attentive. They're not just giving you one gift and then they're done. Being a sneaky male is a long game. So they should be like rubbing against you often. They should be giving you gifts often, as often as they can. It's not just one gift and then it's a done deal. They should be attentive. Otherwise, he probably would not accept them. Yeah, don't... Well, that's fine. Like, you just have to do it often. It's not one and done.
Would we ever, like, if someone's overly four-calling when there's no danger or anything, would the other dinos ever get, like, annoyed and start three-calling them?
Sorry, I have people messaging me. You really shouldn't be forecalling unless there's danger, or you're but it's kind of hard to act out. Like, so I see Murrocity as forecalling when their children go, like, are, doing dangerous things, like, yeah, are, like, not going the way they want them, they're out of the herd, they're open, they're, vulnerable. You might want to, like, you could, like, body block the child, like, go over here and then two-call. It could do that, too. Generally, I would only use it for, like, danger, but if you're warning your child of danger, like, oh, that's dangerous, then sure. It's just, I would use it, like, sparingly for that. Like, try all the other options, and if the child still isn't getting the message, then I would forecall. As for getting annoyed by that, you could probably not, actually. You wouldn't get annoyed by that.
Would Amargas, if they're, like, low in numbers, would they ever, like, be quieter than normal and, like, not sing as much?
Yes. Low Amargas are very quiet. They will rarely make a noise, and they will stay in wooded areas. So it's in profile, and, but once they are in a herd, or once they're in a big herd, they become very vocal. They'll two-call often, they'll socialize often, one-call to each other, just talk to each other. Because they're very sociable animals. But if they're in a smaller number herd, they would probably be less vocal. They would still talk to each other if there was multiple, but if they were alone, they would hardly make any noise at all. Unless absolutely necessary, like a 3 call or...
Oh, no, you're fine. It wasn't like that specifically. It just reminded me of a few instances of like babies calling a lot and it's getting really annoying. Or like giving away our position when there's like 2 of us.
Babies have no sense of predation, so it's up to you to... Okay, so one thing, I was a lone baby Amarga, I was running to a herd, right? I saw a Sarco in my way. I ran up to that Sarco trying to be friends because babies have no sense of predation. It's up to their parents to teach them that, or it's up to them to learn the hard way. So I almost got killed by that Sarco. So my baby learned the hard way. But, if that baby has parents, they will, the parents will teach them that, okay, that's bad, you're going to die if that happens, or you're in danger if that happens. I forgot the actual question I was responding to, so, did that answer it?
Yeah, it did, thank you.
Okay.
Would a Marg herd ever like go quiet for safety, or are they just always singing constantly?
They're always talking to each other constantly. In downtimes, they would talk less, like during the daytime, or they're all sleeping or resting. They would talk less, but they normally would not go quiet for safety. If they are running for something, there is no need for 4 calls for constant 4 calls, you can 4 call once to warn the herd of danger, and then you would probably be like quiet after that if you are running. In a defense circle or in a defense position, you are loud, you are displaying, you are making yourself seem bigger than the thing that's threatening you guys. So you're going to 1 call, 3 call. So yeah, you are very loud, because being loud is also like, oh, that's kind of scary, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The 1 call also makes you rear up, so that makes you seem bigger.
Also, when like a bunch of, or just you in general, are sleeping, what can prompt you to like wake up and it's not just like kind of metagaming? Or not metagaming, but like just abusing.
A 4 call, since a 4 call or multiple 4 calls, it's up to you if your dino's a light sleeper. It probably should be a light sleeper, but I assume there also would be some heavy sleepers. Since you are a prey animal, it should be light though. A 4 call would wake you up. Probably heavy footsteps, like running, might wake you up. 3 calls might wake you up, like a ton of 1 calls at the same time would wake you up. But it is up to you whether your dino wakes up to that or not. But as they are prey animals, like I said, it is recommended for it to be a light sleeper. And would wake up at the slightest signs, like possible danger.
Would you ever wake up just like seeing something, like you're still sleeping, but your camera sees something in the distance?
I mean, I wouldn't, since that is technically metagaming, but it is hard to not do that, so...
Yeah, I usually wait till like they're close enough to like, quote unquote, hear their footsteps or something, if they're being loud.
Yeah, if you can hear their footsteps, then yeah, I would wake up. Yeah, I hate doing that, but it is realistic. If your baby's AFK and a herd's moving, you would leave it. And if it's not getting up and the herd's leaving, you would leave it. Because technically waiting for your baby is going to put yourself at risk too, and you could always make more. But if you die, you cannot make more. It sounds brutal, and it is, but yeah, that's...
If a full-grown, like your mate or something, is, what's it called, sleeping, would you leave them too?
Yeah. If you're calling at them and you're like, since we are poly and you technically might have other females, and if you don't, if the main herd is leaving, you would leave it, or you would leave them. Because if the main herd leaving has larger numbers than the person that's staying back, so you have safety in numbers, so you would feel more inclined to go to the main herd. Now, if your mate catches up, you would then go to them, but until they do, you would just follow the main herd.
Oh, when acting out like how herbivores are skittish around carrion and the bones, would you ever 4-call or 3-call, or is it just like quickly moving away?
You would just quickly move away. I wouldn't 4-call, and you wouldn't 3-call bones either. You would likely try to avoid it in the first place, but if you don't see it and then you find out and then you see it only when you're next to it, I would just run away. Or move away from them quickly.
Oh, is it unrealistic to like drink from a source that your pod is... Fuck, I can't word it. Like, to drink in a dirty place where dinos are bathing.
No, it's not unrealistic. I don't think your dino would care.
Do Amargas ever have like one always awake for a century, or are they always all sleeping together?
Uh, Males will usually sentry, but if all the males try at the same time, they will all sleep at the same time. They don't coordinate.
Are you talking about males and sleeping when lying down and stuff?
Yeah.
Something I like to do is kind of mimic horses, sleeping standing up, so you're always alert while sleeping.
Ah, right.
Can they ever start migrations during the day, or would it only be like it
They can
bleeding
start
over?
migrations during the day. They would like to do it at night, but they can also do it during the day. They might travel shorter distances during the day until it gets night, and then they can travel longer. But
Do Amargs always react to danger in the same way? If it's like a solo conk and you're all adults, would you care, or would you just kind of like mind your own
if you had
business?
kids, you would care more. But if you're all adults, you would not care
Alright.
unless it starts getting close to you. Okay, so it's been about an hour and 30 minutes. Are there any last questions before I end the class?